been many years that I've suffered with this affliction, and I have bought many watches.
When was the last time you bought a watch, Pete? Remember, we listen and we don't judge in this group.
Just this week, I fell over and ended up with an Oris in my bag.
Well, that doesn't count. You've already admitted the Oris to us.
I did.
In this forum,
I did.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
You've been a good boy.
Do you know what?
It's been a whole week.
That is quite good.
I mean, everybody, let's congratulate and encourage Pete on his recovery through this watch addiction.
I'll try and do better.
No. Oh, yeah, you should. I mean, you've let us down, really.
Yeah.
Do you like a watchcloth to wipe away the tears?
No, it's not that bad.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
But yeah, it's been a minute, and it feels it as well, deep down.
But like, you're obviously hunting stuff, aren't you?
Still looking.
Yes, which we'll get to in today's show.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are watching on YouTube, you'll just have to wait for the video that goes out about it.
Yeah.
But you're stalking something.
Yeah.
You're stalking something. You're watching.
So the Spotify people, they're watching this bit?
Yeah.
That's
and
good.
the YouTube people, they're watching this bit as well.
Oh, okay.
Do you watch the videos back?
Not really.
No.
Not a big follower.
Not a big fan.
I'm just here for the confessions. Yeah. Not a fan of the Chronocast.
And you're not?
No.
Don't subscribe.
No. I'm here just for this weekly little group.
Yeah, to get watches off your chest. Okay.
Do you want to?
Hello, everybody. My name is AJ.
Hi, AJ.
Hi. I am addicted to watches.
Oh.
It's been a couple of days since the last time I bought a watch. And there's some secrets I'm keeping from you that I'll hold on till next week. It's getting out of hand.
It's getting as if it's on the journey to being out of hand.
Yeah.
Rather than it is out of hand.
No, it can get worse than this.
It can?
Yeah. Called credit cards.
Wow.
And interest-free finance. It could get a lot worse.
Yeah, don't open that door.
No, I'm resisting that. You know, everyone knows, there's been a long time kind of follower of this, that I've been refining my watch collection.
You've done really well.
So I think I've sold 18 watches this year.
Yeah. Which I can't get that. I want to. I haven't done it yet.
I have also bought probably close to that as well.
More than that. Yeah. I mean.
So we went on a little road trip, which is what this whole podcast episode is going to be kind of based around, is things we saw on our road trip, really. They're kind of the watching things. But I want to specifically hold on to one thing that happened on the road trip.
Oh, okay.
And that was that I fell over.
Yeah, well, we can get to that. But, do you know, the road trip part, sharing a shopping experience with a fellow watch addict is dangerous.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was fun. I thought you enjoyed your weekend with me.
I walked into one store and nearly spent £4,000 on a watch that you were trying on.
Oh, yeah. We went in to try Grand Seikos for the first time.
Yeah, and I don't even know what happened there. Next thing, it's on my wrist, and we're talking about me having it.
That was a real kind of manifestation moment, because it was only the episode before we were like, oh, we should really try Grand Seikos, because everyone talks about them, but around us, there's just nowhere to try them.
Yeah.
And then we went away for this weekend with work, and we stopped at literally every jeweler's along the way, nearby, within 100 miles.
There was a lot of watch stores.
Yeah, but the first one I want to talk about, that Grand Seiko experience, because you were there. I wanted to try on the GMT Spring Drive, because that was the watch I've been...
This is literally how it happened.
Yeah. We went into jewelers. They are an AD for Grand Seiko. Went in and went, oh, I really want to try on the GMT Spring Drive. I've been looking at them. They look beautiful. And you weren't that fussed at first.
At first, yeah.
I think you were looking at the...
I went straight to Panerai.
That was it. You were looking at Panerai. I was going to say you were looking at Hublot, but...
I did go there.
The dirty
and then listen.
We're judging you.
Don't take on board what Nico's saying. Nice guy. He badmouths the Hublot big time.
Yep.
I can tell you, it feels incredible.
Yeah, I
really like it. Yeah. Jean-Claude Beaver, I love what he's done. I think we spoke about it in the past.
We have, yeah.
Don't judge.
Yes.
I did try on a Hublot, but I was looking at the Panerais while you were Going, oh, I could try it on.
Yeah, I could try it.
And out comes a GMT spring drive.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's 43, I think it was, 44, 43 mil. It's big.
Yeah.
And I was trying to convince myself that I could get away with it on my wrist, and you were like, honestly, go and look in the mirror. It's a bit big. And then you were like, oh, let me show you on my wrist, and then you can see how big it is.
For perspective.
And in that moment, I saw something happen to you.
Yeah.
It was like...
Well, I touched it, didn't I?
Yes. And as soon as you touch them,
yeah,
they've got the feeling like Rolex has. You know, when you touch it, it's like, oh, there's something different about this.
Yeah, I mean, we should talk about the feels because it's kind of important as well. Like you can watch a video online and go, I don't get it. That's a lot of money. You know, $6 grand, $5 grand, $4 grand. They're quite a lot of money.
Yeah, and it's got Seiko on the...
It's got it's Seiko, and then there's the position of the crown. It looks like is it SXK or something like that, right? I get it. So I walked past Hublot, Panerai, AJ trying on, and I go, look, for perspective, let me help you. And then it was like Gollum touched the ring.
It really was.
There was this moment, because the feel of it. Now, previously I've touched Seiko. They feel a little bit shit. the bracelets.
Bracelets are the worst.
So everyone starts with Seiko, they end up with Seiko. I get it.
Yeah.
But the bracelets, they're the first thing that you want to get rid of and replace with a strap.
Yeah.
When you try on a Grand Seiko, totally different thing.
Yeah.
It's like Sony and Heuer all over again. It's like a Toyota and Lexus.
Bic and Parker pen.
Different companies, but same point.
Yeah.
You know, and this magical thing was in my hand, and I felt like Gollum's holding the ring. It was taking me in, and the next thing, the salesman is typing. I
could actually knock 25% off of that for you today.
You could?
Yeah. We really need to meet targets this month. So
my precious.
And what was weird is that your eyes have got this, I don't know what colour they are, bluey grey, whatever they are. Yeah. They went all black. It was like it's like
that was probably the moment where the fear of God hit me. She will kill me.
It was the moment they said interest-free finance.
Oh yeah, I can definitely hide that from her. But no,
just £100 and something a month for 4 years.
Terms and conditions apply. If you have a house, we'll take it off you. We'll take your car.
I went in wanting to see what the spring drive looked like in the flesh and what that kind of felt like on the wrist and all the rest of it. Everything you hear on the internet about it, all the videos you see like Teddy waxing lyrical about it, are for real. It is stunning to look at.
Teddy Boulders here, by the way, representing.
Yeah, repping. But what they cannot communicate is how special the polishing and the quality of the steel feels like.
Yeah, so they've done something incredibly special. Yeah. It's not just about that super smooth sweeping movement of the second hand. That is cool.
It's cool.
But for the first time with the word Seiko, the strap is incredible.
It's Rolex levels, isn't it?
I said strap, bracelet. The bracelet. Yeah, it's just, it feels like a real quality material.
It's the quality
highly
of
polished.
Steel. Yeah.
And I can't big it up enough. It was exceptional. It felt like a watch at that price point.
So in that moment then, I
was in danger. I was in real deep danger.
I got to the point where I was a bit disappointed that the watch that I wanted to look at didn't work out for me. It was too big. Now you're like loving it. And so the guy goes, well, if that's a bit too big for you, you should try the Shunbun, whatever it's called. Shunbun.
Yeah. Which is the white cotton dial.
It's beautiful. And it's what kind of Grand Seiko are definitely known for, is the finish of their dials.
It's the one watch that everyone recognises.
Yeah. So then I've got this beautiful 39mm thing of beauty on my wrist. And again, the sales guys in there with the computer go, oh, actually, I can take 20% off of this one today. And
I just want to relive that moment. I felt joy. I could see that we were both in danger now. It wasn't just me on the bungee jump. You've gone in with me.
Yeah, went in just wanted to try it on, and there was a very real moment where we could have lost 10 grand in this store.
In one hit. I'm pretty sure it was either the first or the second store we went to.
The
So
second store.
it didn't give us any time to really consider, what we were going to end up spending, looking at.
And the problem is that if you go on a watch weekend with your friends, with your watch friends, is they'll egg you on. That's a problem because they want to see you fall over in pain. But also, it was like the second store we'd gone in, and we knew that we had like 2 other days in which we were going to go to different watch shops. So it may surprise you, but we don't have like unlimited budgets.
No.
Or that much budget at all. So it was like, we could do this, but that would be like my big spend for the next fucking year.
Yeah.
Or I could just hold on and see what else I might find along the journey as well.
Yeah.
But it was like hanging over us all weekend.
I try and plan out a couple of big brands that I want to achieve.
Yeah.
And I try and get something from each stable.
But what it's made me do is go from Grand Seiko being something I was curious about to bumping it right up to the top of my list. It's like, oh, that's the next kind of big watch is a Grand Seiko after the last big watch.
In that very moment. And it was
yeah.
It was the ring. It had that effect.
It really did. Yeah.
I felt traumatized when I took it off. I'm just going to have a think about it because I did just try on a Panerai and I was really pulled towards that.
Yeah.
And I had the ring effect with the Panerai as well. Yeah, my precious. I was just there.
It's that.
But when they came off, I was like, I just want to look around because there's some other stores here.
Yeah, I know.
That was the moment where I was still kind of stuck with the ring impact.
On this watch shopping trip, I think I was close to spending a total of about £30,000. Like if I just said yes to everything and I had the money, like I know there's a watch that we're going to bring up later in today's show that I looked at that I fell in love with. There was a tag that I fell in love with. There was the Grand Seiko. There was a lot of watches that I could have just impulsively, if I had the money, just to buy.
That's fair.
And they were all beautiful.
And that's the problem with the journey of suffering this affliction.
Yeah.
You'll want certain watches and you've got to kind of timeline when they're going to, I'll get that when.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes the day never comes because you put it off and prioritize something else.
The real affliction, when you know that you need to be part of this therapy group that we do here, is when you can easily justify those watches. When it's like a $5,000 Grand Seiko and you're like going, yeah, but do you know what?
I'm worth it.
He did knock 20% off. And if you were to resell it, it's about that. And actually, if I did look at the finance plan and that only works out at £100 and something. Wow, do you know what? I could get this and it basically cost me nothing.
The longer you spend in an ADs,
this is terrible.
The more danger you're in because they start bringing out all the tools.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't aware that so many of the jewelers can offer 0%.
Yeah.
So you can walk away with this watch, putting a 10% deposit down and just doing monthly payments with no interest.
That will catch you.
And you go, well, that's incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
Because I'd never really thought about it like that. It's kind of like reverse saving, I guess.
Oh, yeah. You've made it very easy for me to say yes.
It would be quite a smart
just need to put 10%
move,
down to
10%,
like 400 quid. That
I
could do that.
I could do that. She wouldn't mind that.
No.
I could get away
you get
with that.
in trouble for your Oris? Talking of that.
I must.
You need to be careful.
I've got to be very careful about what I talk about now because, the show is watched.
Yes.
And there are husbands that will grass. They think they're fans of the show. They think they're supporting. They talk to their wives and go, Pete saw this great watch.
Yeah.
I'd quite like to have a look at that. Don't tell your wife that. It gets back to my wife and then there's trouble.
But I think it's a healthy harmony, right? Because just going to put it the other way around. If you were both into watches, which I'm sure there are couples that are.
I've tried. No. I did try.
But just let's pretend you're both into it. That halves your watch budget.
Oh, God.
Have you thought about that?
That is a good point.
Yeah, you can't be that selfish anymore.
Do you know when I was looking at the new Tudors that released earlier this year, I tried to get her to put on the I don't know, burgundy, blood red, whatever.
Oh, the burgundy
Okay.
Black Bay, yeah.
And I thought,
Gorgeous.
that looks incredible on her. She took off her Apple Watch and put it on. And I was like, if you were a 10 before, you're now an 11.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah, it
because
improved.
of the watch.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
In fact, when you take it off, you drop down to an 8.
You're less attractive
Yeah.
because you took it off.
Yeah. But she took it off and went, no, it's not really as comfortable as my Apple Watch. Yeah, which is why she went down to like 7, maybe 7.
Did she have a little accident on the way out the shop? Like fell over, got tripped up, fell downstairs?
I don't know what was wrong with her that
door.
day. I try and blank it from my memory now.
Talking of that watch, the is it the 58 Burgundy or whatever it is called? It is so much more beautiful in person than the pictures let on. It's like jewelry.
There's
person,
been really mixed reviews of that watch, but we were at the jewelers and I was looking at literally everything. Show me your Watches and Wonders collection. I want to have a look what you've got, what's new in the stable. And we did a really good job of handling all of it.
I think Tudor in general are nicer in the flesh than they are in pictures.
That's right, AJ. You achieved a Longines.
Tick!
And I'm so glad you did, because I felt guilty for jumping on a Longines before you, and now you've picked up a great one.
It's really beautiful. It was in, I'm just going to say it was in the Swatch outlet in Bicester. And we were looking around. We've been looking around for ages, and they had a few of like the smaller spirits, the 38, the 37, isn't it?
Well, you were stalking them long before, and that was the first time I think you've seen it in the flesh. Certainly was for me.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So they only had the small ones on. The only one they had in a 40 was the titanium at first, and it was on an N-word strap.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to convince myself that it was okay. Black dial, titanium on a nylon strap, and it didn't feel nice at all. I kept putting my wrist and it felt uncomfortable.
Joe, my favourite party trick with this watch is just let the room see the loom.
Yeah, I mean...
it is pretty epic.
It's really cool. At night especially, it's really lovely. It's got applied markers so they kind of stand out from the dial, and they have the superluminova inset into it, so it's got a real 3-dimensional look, and everyone knows the watch is this. I've got a thing for watches that have depth and texture and 3 dimensions to them. It ticks all of that box.
It's a beautiful looking watch. There's really not much to kind of say other than it's simple style. It's obviously a vintage kind of style,
which is what I'm really into at the moment.
You've definitely gone smaller with your whole collection.
Yeah, in physical size, definitely. 40 mil. It wears, I would say, even that, it wears smaller than a 40 mil because it doesn't have a bezel or anything. It's got no kind of added heft to it. COSC certified movement. It's the L888.4. Yeah, nerd corner.
That is quite nerdy.
Thanks
All
very
of a
much.
sudden, I can feel a Teddy vibe. When you start giving out all the numbers.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote it down so I didn't forget on this little list. That's not like I actually know this
You've got a
stuff.
little prompt for yourself.
Yeah, 72-hour power reserve. It's obviously the movement's made by ETA because it's a Swatch Group watch, but it's exclusive to Longines, that particular caliber.
Okay.
So chronometer certification. It ticks all the watch nerd boxes.
One little surprise is there isn't an exhibition window. I know that's a big thing for you.
Yeah,
it's not there.
They don't do it on this model at all. I got over that because I love, and it's something that Longines do really well, the dials, the finish on the dials. Your Conquest as well, it's got the same kind of luster to it.
I would say
brushing.
That's something that they've been kind of left alone with. Longines as part of the bigger group is just do your thing, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
And they've always nailed the beauty of the dial, the way that the light catches the dial, the details within the dial. It's a brand that I deeply love. I find many of their watches attractive.
Yeah, the Spirit range in particular I really like. There's a few in there that I could happily have. The chronograph's really nice as well. The only thing I would improve upon with this is I'm not a big fan of the date window at the 3 o'clock. I'd rather it was just no date.
I'm struggling with date windows altogether.
I think that they sometimes make the dials look lopsided. I don't like that so much.
Yeah.
The retail on this, as I know, has been stalking them, is £2,200 or £2,150, and in the outlet in Bicester Village, they had it for £1,200.
Yeah.
I almost, so like I said, there was the titanium one that I've been looking for a while. I was a bit unsure. We left, and then we came back in like an hour later, and obviously someone had been trying the steel one on whilst I was looking, and so I couldn't see it. So by the time we'd come back, it was there back in the display case, and I was like, I just clamoured for it straight away. Didn't hesitate.
It was a really good find. In fact, it lifted the whole benefit of going to Bicester and having a look around, because prior to that, I hadn't seen that one watch that jumped out to me. You know, buy me. And then there always is something, but even with like good deals, it's still got to talk to you.
Yeah,
And I hadn't found that, so I was really relieved that there was the watch that you had been stalking available on a deal.
Yeah,
because it's hard to pass up.
It's like £1,000 less than retail for a new watch it's crazy, really. The Swatch outlets are pretty mad. What's it called? Our Passion or something?
Our Passion, yeah.
There you go. But yeah, obviously everything in the Swatch group was there. There was a couple of Hamiltons that did catch my eye. The Intramatic chronograph, which is a handbound chronograph, which is really beautiful. They had a few of those in, but I didn't want to over egg it and just buy loads because they're cheap, which I think is what you were kind of getting at there.
Yeah. Well, do you know, there's a few excitements. You've covered your Longines, so I'm going to kind of talk more about the Bicester experience. There's a Breitling outlet there.
Yes.
So you've got what would end up at Grey Market, I guess. They're kind of old, aren't they?
Yeah, it's the old stock. Yeah.
Talking 2-3 year old. Nothing in the current generation at all. In fact, I found it really hard to get excited. There was very little that jumped out at me.
The prices weren't great in the Breitling catalog, Breitling outlet either. They weren't enough to make you go, "Oh, I can't ignore that. That's a GMT for half price."
So sometimes you fall over, motivated heavily by price,
of course.
And they're always the mistake watches as well. They're the ones that you go, "Oh, is it talking to me now?"
Yeah. The worst though.
The ones to live with, aren't they?
No, I mean the worst shop.
Watchfinder.
What is up with that place?
One of the main reasons to stop at Bicester
Yep.
was to have a look at this online website in person.
Yeah. Their flagship outlet.
And to go to Bicester and see what must have been, there was more staff than there was customers.
Yes.
Which is the first thing. Straight away, I kind of feel a little bit awkward. But they were fine. They didn't pounce on you or anything. But it was more the collection of watches. You know, they're all mishmashed all over the place. And like price jumps from absolutely insane money to very affordable. And it's all there in one space. So you're looking at cabinets, trying to move around the store and just see if there's anything that... Do you know what? I can see why they've put it in the outlet here. It's obviously the crap that won't sell on the website. And that was a real disappointment for me because I thought it was going to be the main draw of going there.
Yeah.
Was going to be Watchfinder.
I did as well.
There's going to be some great watches. I'm going to see stuff that I haven't seen in the wild before. And yeah, and I don't want to poo-poo stuff because I love watches. I love the industry and I love that retail experience. But what a disappointment. There wasn't a huge range there, which then left us moving on to Bremont. Beautifully themed store.
Lovely shop. Yeah.
Really nice staff, really informative. They certainly know everything about the industry. They know a lot about watches.
Yeah. Yeah, educated.
And they had quite a few models available and were very willing to let you try them on. I wasn't prepared to have an accident in Bremont just yet.
It's difficult, isn't it, Bremont? I like them. Like, objectively, I like their watches. They're nice. Their price point is a sticking point a bit for me. It's the only thing. If they almost feel like they're trying to go toe-to-toe with Breitling.
Yeah.
In their style and their pricing. It's like they feel like they're at that point. And if you're given that choice, it'd be very difficult to pick Bremont over Breitling. I might be oversimplifying. I probably am oversimplifying it.
there's the heart and the head stuff, isn't there?
Yeah.
Bremont is one of those. It's, the start of this journey of they're a core British brand. They do this stuff with ejector seats, with aeroplanes, and it's cool stuff.
Yes.
Nice little story, quality movements, and you put all of that together, and there's a hefty price that represents a pretty high-end watch. Certainly something that's an achievement watch. You work towards it, and nothing really talked to you. And
No.
I didn't see anything there that was like, that's going to make me jump.
Yeah.
Which kind of left me with good impression, nice store, lovely staff, and definitely if you're into watch shopping, Bista's somewhere to go. They've got some interesting stuff to see there.
They've got a nice shop in Bristol as well at Cribs.
They do.
We stopped in there.
It's another one of their kind of retail outlets. I'm not sure how many they've got across the UK, but obviously they've got their, is it Hinckley, Headley, something like that?
Yeah, Hinckley.
Hinckley, where you can go and do tours and things like that. And they're very polite and offer all of that to you if you're interested.
I've got no problem with the brand, and I think their watches are cool. Heart and head. I just can't.
You need one that will talk to you.
Yeah, at that price point, it really needs to jump out at me, and I haven't found that yet.
The problem is those ones are the more exclusive ones, which you've got to wait around for because they're trying to create that whole kind of razzmatazz with it.
It's a difficult price point, again, because it's in the multiple thousands. There's so much competition at that price point of like really good quality Swiss-made watches of beauty or tall like they are.
Yeah.
There's so much competition. Like, there's other brands I'm going to pick above them at the moment.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's jumped out at me.
And then there was Tag Heuer.
Oh, gosh.
So Tag in Bicester outlet was it's fully stocked.
Yes.
If you liked their quartz watches,
Yes.
there was loads of choice. Beautifully presented, and as you would expect, a big Formula One kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
Well staffed, everything else, but again, hard to kind of pick out anything that was super exciting from that.
Yeah.
Whereas I've been to other Tag outlets.
The one at Cheshire Oaks is lovely.
Cheshire Oaks. They've got Joe with a Monaco.
Joe with the Monaco.
Joe with a Monaco. I always remember the guy there because he's Joe with a Monaco. Real nice experience there, really well stocked. And I'd say they've got better stuff, but you've got to go right up.
You've got it right up there. And even the, is it Watches of Switzerland shop in Bristol at Cribs, the Tag one?
Yes.
That's lovely. The guys and girls in there are really nice, really helpful, lovely. Great selection of their new stuff. That was one I almost fell over on. The Carrera Skipper.
I'd say out of
That's
everywhere
lovely.
on our tour of the UK, there's 3 locations where we really went into danger. We can kind of expand on those, but Bristol was particularly dangerous.
This is weird, and I wasn't expecting that at all.
No, right on our doorstep, really. Yeah. And that was the place where we were very likely to be buying multiple watches.
Yeah. I guess we should move it along to the first big part of the show.
AJ, I've been stalking a watch for a while. I'm going to be honest, it's something that I was like, it's probably too small for me, but I like it. I'm going to reach out to them. A little bit cheeky. Pete here from the Chronocast, and I like the Vulcain Cricket.
Oh, okay.
So I managed to convince them to trust me with their watch, and they actually sent it.
What did you have to sign in order to let them lend this watch to us?
I'm not going to go into the details, but it does involve you.
I thought it might.
Yeah, but I mean, it's very good of you to support me in that way of getting hands-on. But the reason that it involves you is because I thought this beautiful watch is just going to be a touch too small for me. What I really wanted was a 42 or 43. But, since you've been on this journey of looking for more vintage style, more smaller watches, I thought, what better brand than the most iconic, a historic brand for vintage watches?
The Vulcain Cricket. It's a beautiful watch. It's 39 mil, and even on me, I'd say this wears small. Like, that's a small 39.
Do you know, originally, I think it was like a 36.
Yeah.
It was a very dainty watch.
They do two models. They do 39 is the biggest one of the two that they do for this, the President Cricket. Even for me, it wears. I mean, yes, I could wear that happily, and it looks beautiful. But I think if you've got a 7-inch wrist, it's probably on the small size still.
But do you know what? That green really pops.
Right. The pistachio green, it's got a finish on that dial like no other. That is absolutely beautiful. And there's so many kind of tricks up the sleeve of this watch. The dial and the finishing on it is one of them, with the like applied battens and those like polished steel on those. Gorgeous. Sat on top of that pistachio green brushed dial as it catches the light in all sorts of beautiful ways.
Well, the one thing for me is I love a watch with a difference.
Yes.
Something that kind of stands it out. You know, there's a lot of homage watches or, you know, clone watches, and it's hard to get someone with real innovation that goes, I'm going to go in my own lane and do this thing. And Vulcain have the Cricket, which is an alarm clock. Oh, you're off. It's absolutely incredible.
This is incredible.
It's one of those kind of tricks that when a watch does something unique like that, it just turns your head.
Yeah, so an alarm movement in a manual wound Swiss watch. It was the 1940s that they first developed it. It's incredibly ingenious how they've done it. And the beautiful thing is with this, as I explain it how it works, you can see it all with the open case back. Now, they do it in two versions. You have a closed steel caseback version and an open caseback version. Why would you buy the closed back version? I have no idea, when you can see how beautiful that is.
When I spoke to Vulcain, they were saying with the closed caseback, the sound resonates more. So you actually get more of that.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you want more, that's the way to go. But if, like us, you love just something a little bit personal kept back for you, you get to take it off and see it undressed, and it is a thing of beauty.
It's so lovely. Like seeing how, because it's got a dual barrel system, so a single crown, one direction winds the kind of spring for the alarm, the other direction winds your spring for the actual watch movement itself. And you can see which way it activates. You can see the different barrels activating when you look at the open caseback. And also, when the alarm's going off, you can see the hammer oscillating and smacking the bar, which gives it that cricket sound. I don't know why you wouldn't want to see that happening.
I know most people get excited by things like, it was the president's watch and stuff like that. Do you know what? There's a place for that.
Yes. Okay.
For those people that it does that for you, great. For me, what I love is that vintage classic style. I'm just really, really jealous of people that can pull this off, because for me, with I'm a fraction over an 8-inch wrist, right?
Yeah.
It's just too small.
I can definitely wear it. So if you've got if you're like me and you've got like a 7-inch or thereabout wrist or smaller, you can definitely get away with the 39. I could definitely wear that. If I was wearing a shirt, then it's perfect, because it's got that very elegant dress-like watch. It's presidential almost. Yeah. So you can get away with it. It wears, and this is going to do it a massive disservice, it wears quite similar to my Studio Underdog in the case size and how it sits on the wrist. So if you're familiar with that, it's kind of similar. But obviously this is in a completely different league to that watch. This is a £4,500 thing of kind of Swiss genius.
Yeah, it's an entirely different league to a lot of the watches that we've looked at. And that's mainly because it's not yours or my style of watch.
Yeah.
It's a bit dressy. It's a bit special.
It's very special.
This is a watch connoisseur's watch. Do you know?
Because there's something different about it.
People that know.
Yeah. And people that don't, you can let them know by
turning your nose up.
No, just turning the alarm on.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you get that watch for? Just.
What does your watch do this?
Yeah. The other thing that's, you know, when you're going through a collecting journey, there's like things you want to tick off. You want to have a chronograph in your collection. I want to have a GMT in my collection. I want a 3-hand. You know, this watch is obviously stands alone in the sense of it being a manual wound alarm watch, and it was the kind of first of its kind. Even to the fact that the dial is different. So you've got the baton markers for each hour as you expect in your traditional 3-hand movement. You then have a 4th hand, which it's not a GMT, that's the alarm hand. And then in between each hour marker, you have 10, 30, and 50 marked to obviously indicate the minutes in between each hour. So they're where you put the alarm hand when the hour hand reaches that point. That's when the alarm goes off. So even on the dial, it's telling you it's different. So in a collection of different watch types and different movements, this kind of would stand alone.
I just love that a company with such a rich history, that they already have an incredible name, have done these kind of bold moves with colour.
Yeah.
They're a watch for people, those that know. And I think that kind of sums up who this watch is for.
Mm-hmm.
It's a subtle watch. It's not kind of ghoulish or whatever. It's not
blingy.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
gonna-
You could wear this to any event, any occasion. It's a very subtle, dressy watch, but very elegant. And I just love what they're doing with their colours. I love their style. And what I'd really love is for them to do a slightly bigger watch, but it's probably outside of their wheelhouse, you know.
For the cricket model. Yeah,
Yeah,
I imagine so.
they're a brand that will stay in their lane. They'll do for their type of customers, their size of watches. And a lot of people prefer a smaller watch.
Yeah. Well, I've been on a journey of slimming down my collection in the sense of making things a bit smaller as well. Whereas in the past, I would quite happily wear a 45mm. I'm now looking at it and going, that just feels well too oversized. I'm moving with that trend almost and finding some enjoyment in that. So, yeah, I think 39mm, 40mm is where probably most average people will sit at as like the happy size of watches. So it's bang on for that. I can't express, I know I've said it and you've said it as well, but just how beautiful the dial is, the finishing on it, the way it catches the light as you kind of spin it around. It's gorgeous.
There's so many aspects of a watch that gives away its price point.
Yeah.
And for me, obviously, with an exhibition case back, you can see what's going on there. That you can see the quality, you can see those details. But then beyond that, it's the feel. You know, you can.
The polished edges.
The way that it's smooth going around, you know that that's an all-day comfort watch.
Yes.
And then, like you say, it's the details of the dial itself.
Sapphire is absolutely insane as well.
So yeah, it's a watch that I get incredibly excited about. I honestly thought I need to get this watch in just to tease you more than anything else. This could be the next aspirational AJ watch. It's a touch on the small side for an AJ. That's okay.
It is a little bit. It's a little bit too small for me. I think because it's a dressy watch, or a smart watch, and as you can tell, I'm not a particularly smart person. I say that as I put on quite a dressy smartwatch afterwards. So I've made a rule up. I've broken the rule straight away.
Always throw out the rule book, AJ.
Book.
I've been guilty of it myself. I've told myself what sizes I can wear, and I've been wrong. With this particular model,
it's gorgeous.
When I typically wear a 42, 43, that's where I'm comfortable. But for a watch like this, it's within the realms, isn't it?
You can wear that.
Yeah, it's within the realms.
You can wear that with a shirt.
I always end up taking wrist shots on the wrong hand.
Yeah.
And I hate myself for doing it.
It's upside down as well on the wrong hand.
Yeah,
but for them it works.
It's all going on.
Yeah.
It's all going on. But yeah, just for sizing. So if you've got an 8-inch wrist, it will look like that. Not necessarily a bad thing at all.
Like I say, if you've got a shirt on with the sleeve over it, it works. It works.
Yeah.
Throw the rules out. How nice is that sapphire?
Vulcain have something really kind of precious in this watch. And I can see now why the cricket gets such a buzz.
That's so cheesy.
It was good, though. It was good. You know it was good.
Pete, it's that time of the show where I ask you, what you're watching.
Okay, I have to be careful because you never know who's watching what I'm watching.
You mean your wife?
The Tudor Black Bay Pro. And AJ, this watch is the 2025 Opaline dial.
Opaline.
Yeah, I'm looking at the latest thing.
So for those that shouldn't know what you're watching because you'll get in trouble for looking at expensive watches, this is £3,730, just for those people that may need to know that information.
Why would you do that?
So if it appears in your collection, you know exactly. Look, maybe you got it on a strap and it's £3,400.
This is a thing of beauty.
Yes.
And I'm just watching.
Yes.
It's just something I'm watching.
But we did actually go and watch it.
Look, I tried it on, AJ. I talked about ways that I could end up wearing it. And do you know, it was just an experience.
Right. So first big question then with this watch. It breaks every single rule you have about watches.
Yeah, I made a stupid rule up. My name's Pete. I'm a watch addict. And I make things up like stupid rules. I once said I couldn't wear a 39mm watch.
And how big is the Black Bay Pro?
It's 39mm.
Or as I like to call it, the Tudor Explorer.
Yeah, I wish you wouldn't do that because I end up saying it and then I look like the idiot.
I say that as a throwaway joke. And my first reaction was, obviously, it looks a bit like the Rolex Explorer. It does, and they're obviously related. But having gone on that watch trip with you, that watch shopping trip we went, and seeing you try this on, I have to say, like all Tudors, it's way more special in the flesh than in the pictures. Yeah. It is beautiful. So
looking down at the watch face as a whole, you'll see the bezel. So you've got a 24-hour markings on it, and that's with a brushed satin finish, which for me, I think completes that look that you call Explorer. The standouts are that angular snowflake yellow GMT hand for me. Absolutely beautiful. Against that opaline dial, stunning. You've got the snowflake hour hand.
Yeah.
Now, on that hour hand, I've got to say, it's the thing that I didn't notice until you see it in the flesh. Not just the hour hand, it's the whole, the watch as a whole. You've got the ceramic markers and the hands are outlined with like this black contrast that when you're just looking at the images that were coming out when it launched,
it's just black.
It just was nothing. But the punctuation that gives it in real life really came... For me,
contrast, isn't it?
It was the fact that you could immediately look at it and tell the time. No matter where it was, bring your hand up at a distance, bang, I can see it crystal clear.
Those little deals you put out, the opening dial, let's just say, the white dial, but the yellow hand, the black contrast, it makes it so much nicer than the black version, the black dial version. And I can't really explain why, because objectively, there's no real difference, black and white. But the white one looks more special.
Well, here's the thing. When you've got your head, your heart, and how it feels, and it communicates to you.
Yes.
Like you think you're choosing, but something's going on.
Yeah.
The black one, I'm a big fan of a dark-faced watch. Matt, who's watching, is going to say, dial, Pete, for Christ's sake, dial.
Yeah.
Well, whatever, right? I look at it, and as a whole, I call it the face.
Right, yeah.
And I go, I like it when it's dark.
Yeah.
With this one, it pops.
It does.
Because of the white, or opaline if you're Tudor, right? It just contrasts with those hands. The way it's got that angular snowflake for the yellow GMT, I love. And then you've got the contrast on the markers and those hands. It just finishes it for me.
Can I, whilst we're talking about contrast, and before you get onto the inners of this watch, because it is special, you were trying it on the bracelet. Obviously, the bracelet is what's going to give it its heft and allow you to wear a 39mm. But can I just show you what it looks like on the black strap?
Oh, okay. I mean, that could be a problem also.
That looks amazing.
But I don't know. So here's the thing. my advice, if you've got a larger wrist, let's say you're around 8-inch, like you're like a Pete, right?
Yeah.
If you are like me and you think, I've got a stupid watch rule that says I can't wear 39, like me, then on the bracelet,
Carries
it just worked.
Yes.
I don't know. I'd have to try the strap, AJ. But also, there's my piece of advice that says this has that new Tudor T-fit. So you've got the quick adjustment on it, which...
Is that the same one as Rolex, is it? It's a similar one.
You can't say it's the same. I don't think you're allowed to say it's the same.
No, it's
because they're not the same, are they?
No,
Right?
obviously they wouldn't share anything.
But yeah, we have seen
similar
on like the new Sea Dwellers and that sort of thing. We've seen a similar thing, but here it's called T-fit, Tudor fit.
That's so bad. Did you come up with that for
So
them?
bad, but it's gone all the way around to being good again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's really functional and really cool and enjoyable.
It's £300 cheaper on the strap than the bracelet. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh God,
Does that sway it for you at all?
I like cheaper, but I don't know.
The bracelet's amazing.
For me, it was that T-fit feel. If I'm just being real with you, the bracelet with the quick adjustment.
And the good news is, right, you can buy straps from Tudor if you go through an authorised dealer. They won't sell them to you direct. And when you do, you'll order it. They'll tell you 3 weeks. And then in 3 weeks' time, they'll tell you 3 weeks. And then in 3 weeks' time, they'll tell you 3 weeks. And about, I think it must be 9 weeks in, and my Tudor strap still hasn't arrived.
Yeah, it sounds
Not that I'm bitter or twisted about
like
it.
Someone's having a hard time.
But it's all right, because they ask for payment up front. So don't worry about it, Tudor. You're fine. Let's just leave that there. Sorry. Back to you, Pete.
Let me tell you about inside the watch. So it's powered by the Tudor manufactured, COSC certified caliber MT5652.
I love it when you talk nerdy.
A 70-hour power reserve.
Talk to me about the vibrations.
I'm not going there, AJ.
Okay.
I'm not going there. It has got a bit of a party trick, this movement, which is that the local time, or the hour hand, not the GMT.
Yes.
But the local time hour hand has that jumping hour. Even the date can jump.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Almost like a retro jump.
Yeah,
if you're going back into a time zone, then
so
you're
the
back
date will
into
go back.
yesterday, which is quite cool. So
That is
jumps
cool.
by hour, but it will also
Jump back with
reverse
the
the day, which
That's nice.
I personally hadn't seen before this movement.
It kind of terrifies me a bit because my brain says that can't happen. My brain says, you've just broken it.
Yeah, you're going to have to go a whole month.
Every time you're like, when all watch people will know this, maybe you've set it to the wrong 12-hour period. And then at midday, you look down and go, it's tomorrow's day.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah. You feel it click at midday. You're like, what was that? And now you've got to do a whole month of...
So it's an incredibly cool party trick for a GMT.
It's
just the fact that you go back a couple of hours into a new time zone and you can change
as much as I like
time.
to rib you and to take the mick in this therapy group, this on your wrist genuinely surprised me how good it looked.
Yeah.
I had discounted small Tudors from your kind of wheelhouse entirely for the same reason you had.
This tiny watch surprised me.
What a
AJ.
great title.
It would be.
Yeah, Tudor's Tiny Surprise. There we go. That's how we come up with titles here. It's beautiful. Undeniably beautiful.
For me, I don't even know why I tried it on. It was just, I liked the look of it, but I knew it was too small.
Is it, though, too similar to the Rolex Explorer?
Do you know, that sounds like a you problem. And you've got to stop that. You keep calling it the Tudor Explorer. And it's a real problem because it's drumming it into my head that it's called the Tudor Explorer.
I did it by accident the other day. Genuinely called it the Tudor Explorer.
Yeah.
Is it too similar though? Like, because it rules out you having the other if you get this, or the other way around. If you've got a Rolex Explorer, you're probably ruled out from having this because otherwise you got the same watch twice. Or am I just making up a rule here?
Yeah, I think what you've said is valid to some people, but not to me.
Okay. I mean,
there's going to be watch people out there that go, well, I've already got an Explorer and it's way cooler than that.
Yeah.
And I go, that's fine.
You're cool.
This is under $4,000
Yeah.
and it's brand new and very cool.
It's very cool. It's
So
very cool. And
it's up to you. There's different options. They're totally different watches for
Yeah.
starters. Yes, it nods to the heritage of the owner,
yeah.
which, that's fine.
Well,
But it's
and
by
the other
no
thing is-
means close to being a homage. It's entirely different.
And just being real right now, if I wanted to buy a Rolex Explorer, I guess it'd be the Rolex Explorer 2 that looks like this, I couldn't. I can't buy it
Yeah.
unless I'm going secondhand and paying more than retail.
Yeah, scalped.
This, I can go into the authorized dealer today and walk out with that watch and be happy right now.
You would be so happy.
Be so happy.
I didn't
Just be
want to
real
take
about
that
it.
watch off. I was quite enjoying having some wrist rolls with it
It was lovely.
and playing with the adjustment, even though I didn't really need to play with the adjustment, just for the sake of playing with the adjustment.
The other thing that surprised me about this tiny watch, Tudor's tiny surprise,
Yeah.
is I, in the pictures, wasn't a fan of the white dial, steel bezel and bracelet. I didn't like the lack of contrast that gave between the different materials.
Yeah.
But again, in the flesh, I was like, oh, that actually looks really good. I don't know why I didn't like that.
I relate to that because I don't have a watch like that.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I'm trying to do at this point. I'm trying to get myself... It's part of the journey,
yeah.
but I'm now trying to broaden what I have. Rather than everything being so similar, I'm trying to get watches that are entirely different. So I've got... This watch is a Christopher Ward.
It's the Christopher Ward
C60 Pro 300.
I mean, 10 out of 10 for
It's
remembering
part of the
that.
Trident range. But yeah,
The worst names in watches, the early Christopher Wards.
it's got it all going on.
It's too many names.
Trident C60 Pro 300.
Just too many. There's too many Tridents.
42 mil.
Although I've got a Trident as well, and I really like it.
But what I love about this is its size. 42 mil, and it feels lovely. I have changed the strap because the straps are
awful.
They're
Can I just
like,
be honest? They're awful.
They're like when you go to hospital and they put one of those bands on you. You know, they're very slim and dainty.
They've got the weird thing is they've got the look of a diving sports watch, obviously, because that's what that is. It's got the heft of it and the metal of it, and it's got the strap of a child's dress watch.
Yeah.
It tapers down to, it must be like 10 or 12 mil. It's tiny.
But I love them. As a brand, I root for them, and this was my way of rooting for them. I wanted to buy into it.
It's nice. It's a nice finish.
But yeah,
Anyway.
so this is something a bit different color-wise to my collection. The I nearly said Explorer. See what a problem you've caused. the Black Bay Pro has done the same thing to me. It's something different in the collection, and that is why I'm watching this Tudor Black Bay Pro opaline dial GMT.
It's incredible, really. £3,700 on the bracelet for a chronometer certified GMT that looks as beautiful as that does, and it's obviously in the Black Bay case. It's got the sapphire that I really, really like, that boxed kind of domed thing.
Yeah, I didn't even go into that. Yes,
The texture
obviously
that
sapphire
has.
crystal, and that gives a lot of heft
Applied
to the whole
markers,
appeal.
everything about it is really nice. If you don't buy it, then I will.
You probably won't because you've got enough watches as it is.
Go and wash your mouth out, young man.
I'm sorry, that was too far.
Too far.
AJ, it's time to own up to what you're watching.
Well, this is a special one, and I need to kind of dedicate this video to someone I deeply upset.
Oh, it was that you're watching? Yeah, you do, because you caused a real issue.
I caused a real issue. So firstly...
Look down the lens and you make a good apology.
In a previous episode of Chronocast, I said I'd fallen out of love with Breitling. I had. I've sold my Chronomat. I sold my Super Ocean. I'm now Breitling-less. And for that, I'm sorry. But to one person in particular, Arvin, who works for Breitling in Bristol, Cribs Causeway.
Cut to me. Long-time listener, long-time viewer.
When we went into the Breitling shop in Cribs Causeway, he called me out on it straight away, saying, I can't believe you've fallen out of love with Breitling, and you've sold your beautiful watches, I instantly felt guilty and ashamed of myself and realised actually the error in my ways.
Do you know what? But that was the best moment for me. Not only did you upset, I'm going to call him my friend.
Your friend, Arvin.
Not only did you upset my friend,
yes,
but it was the fact that he watches the show and came after you, and he was convincing you that by the time you leave, you were going to love Breitling again. And he cured you.
He did. He absolutely did. Because in there, I'll be honest, I had gone in with the intention of having a look at some particular watches, and one of them is what I'm watching in this episode. And his kind of stewardship through the journey of looking at these watches, telling the story, showing the beauty of them, and offering me some coffee and some finance as well.
Yeah.
It made it very hard to walk out not buying this watch. In particular, I want to look at today the new top time, the B31, the three-hander, in that kind of electric blue. It absolutely not just jumps off the page, but again, like so many of these watches in 2025, are so much nicer in the flesh than on any website can show you.
Yeah,
the colours.
This is the year where it's more important than ever.
Go to a jeweler's.
To walk into a retailer's and have a look.
Yeah.
Because the images, they give you an idea, but they don't talk to you in the same way.
Again, I want to get this right, because I have to, even when I wrote the notes down after looking at it, I keep having to double check it. It's a 38 millimeter Breitling, which first of all goes against what I kind of think about with them. I always think about their big aviation watches. This Top Time series is more vintage, kind of 60s styled. It's kind of like where I'm at right now. 38 millimeter on the bracelet just wore massive amounts bigger than that. Like the kind of wrist presence that it had.
Immediately, the feel of it was incredible, but I could see your confusion at that detail, because it was very much a friend of ours, Rob. He likes a dainty watch.
Yeah.
He likes that slightly smaller. It was a Rob watch more than it was a AJ watch. And for me, I kind of look at watches and I enjoy that. I enjoy setting the person up in my head with what they would fall for.
Yeah.
Not in a malicious way, AJ.
Well, it sounds malicious. It sounds like you want us to all fall over buying watches.
Put it in front of them and just see how they cope.
Okay. I don't even know where to start. There's so much is beautiful about this. That electric blue is gorgeous in person. The red secondhand kind of accenting and jumping off, giving that contrast. A beautiful box to that sapphire. It even has a date cyclops, which I normally hate. But yet on this watch, I kind of falling in love with these little details. And I blame Arvin. I think he did some kind of magic on me.
He wasn't going to let go of you.
No.
He was insisting that by the time you left that store, you would either have a watch or be back deeply in love with the Breitling Cribs way.
Yes, what's it, Cribs Crew or something? His Instagram. Anyway,
we'll drop a link to his Instagram below, because I think maximum respect.
Genuine
for what
lovely
he did.
guy. Yeah. The exhibition case back on this. Anyone knows that watches the show. I and you deeply love seeing a movement. Normally, if it's a rubbish movement, a cheap movement, a Seiko or something, I still like looking at it. It's cool. But when it's something as beautifully finished as that, then it's special.
Yeah.
That's the B31 movement. And this is actually I'm going to get Nerd Corner out.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
It's important.
Yeah.
This is Breitling's first in-house designed three-hand movement. The first one that they've done themselves.
That's impressive.
That's impressive. B31, and it's specifically for these top times. Before,
and previously was ETA.
Kinesi.
Oh, okay.
It was Kinesi before, and now it's their in-house design and development, and who's manufacturing it?
No.
Selita.
Oh.
Selita manufacture Breitling's designed movement, because if you imagine the Selita manufacturing process is like in the millions of units that they can produce. Sure. So Breitling design it, develop it, give it to Selita to manufacture, and then obviously,
do you know what? I am
dress up as
loving
well.
that part of the watch industry at the minute. There's a lot of working together to
We see it with Kinsey, like you said.
to make processes easier and to go, actually, you've got a really good movement there. That would be great for our watch because we think it's incredible. And you're seeing some sharing going on.
Interesting at the same time, Swatch have closed off the access to ETA manufacturing, not just ETA movement, but like the ETA's kind of manufacturing capabilities. So they've closed it off to just being Swatch watches now. So everyone else is kind of moving to, we're going to go to Kinsey or we're going to go to, Sellita. Tag also have their, I think it's the TH3 one, which they in-house design and develop, and Sellita manufacture it as well. So Sellita are really kind of opening up to kind of these higher end, elaborate manufacturer grade. I mean, the finishing, that perlage on it and stuff is beautiful.
He really did a number on you.
He did, yeah. I really rubbed off his watch nerd on me. Look at this. Look at that dial. And again, okay, I had said Breitling, I felt, had lost their way. I didn't like the departure from the Wings logo.
Yeah.
But yet on the top time, I think just the B actually fits that kind of 60s design quite well. It's clearly not an aviation watch, is it?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's an entirely different style from what we're used to seeing from the Breitling of 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And where they are now. Bear in mind, they went through aviation and then big with the Super Ocean kind of dive watches. Yep. And now, again, we're seeing another style where they're going deep into classic vintage.
Yeah, going back to this kind of 60s aesthetic, which I really deeply love. The hands as well. Hands are beautifully finished, that polish on them. It's COSC certified, so it's a chronometer certified movement as well, 72-hour power reserve. It does carry quite a hefty price, is the only thing, for a simple three-handed 38mm Breitling.
I noticed for a watch that you immediately adored and were looking at very closely, the hesitation to move forward.
£4,850.
Yeah, that is a chunk of change.
It's a chunk, and my only problem is there's a couple of watches that I really deeply love at that like $4,000 to $5,000 mark right now.
Yeah.
And I can't obviously get them all. So it's like, which one is the one I aim at to get?
That is the thing I love with collecting though.
It's awesome feeling.
Working towards achievements and going, that is the next one. And it might be a little bit of time off.
Yeah.
And maybe in between I'll fall for, some smaller accidents.
Yes. Yeah.
Fall over.
Put me a few months behind on my saving.
Yeah. But the long-term goal of going, this is going to be my next big boy.
For me, and maybe I'll do some what you're watchings on the other ones as well, because it's probably worth it. There's this, which I wasn't expecting to love so much and deeply loved. Mainly, it's the blue, how much the blue jumps out in person.
And then there's some others. I'm not going to let you. Don't do that. Not
going to talk about that other.
No.
What about that amazing
in the next one?
And that one with
that will be the following one.
Wow, but it's got
there's so many things to share.
Okay.
Right now,
let's keep it on the Breitling.
Yeah. So Breitling had some incredible offerings. I did try on a Super Ocean that I saw.
Oh, it was nice.
I realised when searching through my photos, which is a wonderful thing with Apple, you go to the top right-hand corner, go into the magnifying glass, type in Breitling, and it will pull up everything. It
shows you how
recognises.
sick you are. It shows you the depth of your illness.
And then I realised that I'd been looking at this watch for 2 years.
Wow.
So and the same style, and I picked it out again.
Was it a Super Ocean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I picked out one with, I think you say Milanese.
I don't know if it's Milanese or if it's just chain or...
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it had a beautiful bracelet. I really like the way that it kind of glistens. When you're at an authorized dealers, they've got some tricks up their sleeve.
The lighting.
That lighting will make everything look incredible.
Yeah.
Including the watch that you're embarrassed to be wearing in there. Because, it's scratched up or whatever.
Yeah.
But it looks absolutely epic. And it had the black dial with the black bezel. Unfortunately for me, that is a thing that I'll end
Black on
up
black.
just filling a whole watch box with the same watch.
The other one that we looked at when we were there, is the Top Time chronograph. Again, very selfishly, it's a smaller watch, so it was more me than you, but equally beautiful. They had the because they're all obviously because it's a chronograph, they're all kind of racing kind of themed. Was it the Cobra one that we were looking at with the blue? It had two-tone blue on it. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I wish I could geek out to the same level. I didn't realise how deeply you had fallen, but you seem to know way more on this than I do.
Oh, I've really fallen for this. Like it's, I can't get it out of my head. There's 2 watches from that trip that I cannot get out of my head, and it's not the one you're expecting.
Oh,
no, it wasn't that Grand Seiko.
Okay.
So when I say there's a couple of watches that are in that £4,000 to £5,000 price point, and I can't decide which one to aim at, it's like a real problem. And this is right up there with that.
Yeah. And that's no bad thing. It's an incredible watch. And here's the thing. He did such a number on you.
He did a real number.
I'm willing to get you a drink, take a seat, let me show you some watches. Would you like to try another one? Would you like to try this one? What about this one? Would you like to try it on that colour strap? He was incredible.
He even complimented my Tudor through gritted teeth.
Yeah.
He's like, that's nice. It's got a Breitling movement in it. It's like, what was that? Nothing.
Yeah.
It's got a Breitling movement in it.
Yeah.
All right, okay. It's the only reason he let me in.
Yeah, I think so. And, deeply, deeply offended at you selling your Breitlings.
Okay, I was fine with it. I was fine with selling Breitlings. Firstly, I was fine with selling because they enabled me to get other watches that I really loved.
Yeah.
Specifically like the Omega Seamaster, really loved.
I think here's the thing first. Nobody really minds you selling watches as long as you're not scalping watches.
Yes.
So when you have them in the way that you do, where you've enjoyed them for years,
Yeah.
and then you go, actually, I need to change my collection slightly. That to me is perfectly acceptable. What's not acceptable is jumping on lists, buying watches up, and then flipping them straight away for more money.
I was fine with going Breitlingless and feeling like they'd kind of lost their way and saying it on here, right up until the morning I had to send away the chronomat. And then I realised what I'd done. I was like, oh, I really love, because Breitling was my entry drug really into this whole like expensive watches.
Yeah.
It was the gateway drug.
It was the same for me. It was the first big brand watch that I bought, and it kind of opened the doors.
Yes, totally did. And so letting go of it and then feeling like I didn't have any Breitlings in the collection, suddenly I irrationally felt a bit sad. So going to Cribs and being open to the idea of like, there are some Breitlings I know that I kind of like the look of on paper, and then having a really nice guy kind of showing us around the journeys of these watches, I just deeply fell in love with the Top Time.
Yeah, I definitely understand the struggle of the aspirational watch. I'm going to put this one somewhere on the timeline here and go, I have to do that at a point.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Breitling have achieved with this. They've got a great range with this Top Time.
Yeah, they really do.
For me, in the wild, way more than online. So it's really important that you do go and visit.
None.
retailers.
I don't even think the pictures that we took of it on the day will do it justice. The way it jumps out at you, that colour jumps out at you. Much like how we were talking about at the start of this podcast, how Grand Seikos feel special in a way that you can never explain.
Yeah.
This looks special in a way that you can't show.
So it's one of the beautiful things. You've proved yourself wrong with size.
100%. Yeah. So have you.
Which is really form factor as well, isn't it? Like you're kind of going through everything's form factor in your collection and going, actually, I want to slim it down. I want to change the style. I'm looking at more modern retro.
Yeah.
And the watches you're finding, I'm in awe of what you're doing. It's not my style, but I love it in the way that
You're supposed to be helping me get over my addiction, not encouraging me.
I love the way you're collecting these vintage styles in the way that I like the skin divers.
Yes, yeah, totally.
And the sort of 42, 43s. For me, I'm trying to vary the colours and everything else. And it's aspirational where you're going with it. And I think the top time is a real problem.
It's a real problem. And I blame you.
Yeah.
I blame them for not stopping me. And most of all, I blame Arvin in Breitling, Bristol for encouraging me to spend £5,000.
Yeah, good job. So AJ, I think we've covered a fair bit today. We've covered some ground. I feel cleansed.
Unburdened.
Yeah, I feel like I've shared.
Yes.
I've definitely got a problem. Not only calling it the Tudor Explorer, but I've got a problem with that watch. And it's a 39. So here we are. We did say when we started out this journey of sharing our watch conversations that we're going to talk absolute bullshit. We will say
nonsense,
like, I can only wear this, and it will be a lie.
Yeah,
and here we are. So I've corrected myself. Weeks on from the last time I said I can only wear a 40 at the smallest.
Yeah,
here I am looking at 39s, and they work.
Yes. I want to know what stupid watch rules you have that you've recently broken. Let us know down in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe or like or rate, whatever options you have on the platform that you're watching or listening to on. Do those things.
Yeah, they're probably just on a podcast, in which point it's really important that they rate us.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And I don't mean like, I
rate them.
I really rate you. No, write it.
5 stars.
5 stars.
Yeah, yes.
That's all. And we'll see you the same time next time.
Oh, I'm sad actually. You didn't do your catchphrase.
No, I didn't this time, because if you do it every time, they expect it.
They'll
go, when's he going to say, always buy a good watch, because it will always get you home.
And if you buy a bad watch, let me know, because I'll probably just buy it off you.
Yeah, see, now we've given them exactly what they expect.
That's what they wanted.